Hello, bonjour, namaste, ni hao, and ohio everybody. What is going on? It is Galeriot here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel once again for another Danmachi Memoria Freese video. And welcome to the buffs for the Astrea Record Part 3 characters, as well as the Astrea Record EX Part characters as well. This is probably going to be the longest buff reveal video. Well, I say buff reveal, buff summary video we've ever done on the channel, because we have 9 characters to go over. And this might, I'm saying might because I expect 2 more characters to get some buffs. We'll get onto that in just a moment, but this might be the final buffs we get for the Astrea Record rerun. So of course, stick around, check out all of these characters, and if you guys go on to enjoy these videos, please be sure to leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Danmachi and Danmachi Memoria Freese content, and leave a comment down below letting me know who do you guys think got the best buffs out of the lot, part 1, part 2, part 3, and the EX characters. Let me know who received the best buffs. I might be making a video potentially on maybe like a tier list of all the buffs that we have received and who got the best buffs. Now, this is going to be dependent on buffs, not their usability in game. I will probably factor that in a little bit, but primarily I'm going to be looking at who got the best buffs. So if you guys want to, join that video and you want to be a part of that video, leave a lot of comments down below, because I will be, probably using the comments of this video in that video potentially. So be sure to leave your comments down below on who do you guys think got the best buffs. Now, like I said, this might be the final buffs we get for the Astrea Record rerun. However, I do believe we are going to be getting buffs for 2 more characters, and that is the Fire Zard and Light Alfia. They released right before the 4th anniversary. They are going to be rerunning in the next month. I think they're planned for 2-3 weeks from now, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So they will be coming back. It's just a question of if they will get buffs, which I do believe they should get buffs, but we'll have to wait and see, of course. Right now, we're going to focus primarily on these 9 characters. We've got 6 adventurers to go through and 3 assists. It's going to be a long video. Like I said, it's going to be a very, very long video. So the first character we're going to take a look at is Finn, of course, Wind Finn. This guy was actually a significant part of the Wind Physical Rush team, the team that would pretty much go first no matter what in terms of, the Wind team turned to go out, all out attack with supreme power basically. This guy used to be a part of it, not so much anymore, but let's see what they've given him. His strength has gone up, his endurance has gone up, dexterity has gone up, agility has gone up. Not bad, that's pretty good. In terms of his special arts, right, they've gone from a high penetration rate. I assume the ultra stays the same. I don't know why the translation's not put in the ultra damage here, but the penetration rate has gone from high probability to ultra probability. So that means it's an ultra penetration rate rather than high penetration rate. The greatly increases power only when skill is activated, which is temporary great strength boost. Has stayed the same, as you guys can see here. It's stayed the exact same. Now though, however, for 3 turns, increases strength, magic, and wind attribute attack damage for all allies by 60%. That's gone from 60 to 90%. This is a very similar buff to the Part 1 Eilys. Part 1 Eilys, if you look at her special arts, right, it's strength, magic, and fire attack damage. It's gone from like 60 or 70% to 90%. It's the same thing here basically, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So good buff generally, nothing too crazy, but good enough. I think it's okay. You're probably not going to use him as a support unit though, that being said. So we'll move on from that and let's look at his main skills, because this is where things will get very interesting. So before the adjustment, his first skill was a fast low ultra critical rate. Okay, ultra critical rate. So this was really good actually on his original skill. So it was a fast ability, low power, ultra critical rate, wind physical attack on all enemies, and for 4 turns increase the strength and agility of all allies by 30% and reduce wind res by 40% of all enemies. Okay, not bad. Now it's improved to a medium strength. The fast ability and ultra critical rate stay the same, and for 4 turns now he can increase the allies strength, agility, and penetration rate by 40% and reduces all enemies wind res by 40%. So the buff has gone up by 10%. The wind res has stayed the same, and the power has just gone from low to medium. That's about it. Nothing too crazy. You could say it's pretty decent-ish, in all honesty. He's still giving the agility, the strength, and penetration rate, and the fact that it is fast is good. in the sense of like, it's a quick ability. That being said, though, again, it runs into the same issue of various other units where you have like a Bello Ryu, or if you have Vesta or any of these units that are capable of removing agility buffs. So it ends up becoming a problem anyways, in all honesty. But let's move on. Let's see what he does here. On his second skill, it's a very powerful, so super unguardable, ultra uncounterable, not unguardable, ultra uncounterable wind attribute physical attack on all enemies. And in addition, all enemies P-res, M-res, fire, water, thunder, earth, wind, light, and dark attribute resistance increases are reduced by 3 turns. So this is actually, for its time, it was pretty good, I think, especially because it would reduce it by 3 turns. However, now the issue is, right, is that a lot of units have like 5 to 6 turn buffs, so it doesn't make a difference, in all honesty. Let's see if they've changed that. I'm very curious to see if they've changed this part. The 3 turns, if it's gone up to like 5 or 6 turns, that'll be good. The first part of the skill has stayed the same. They've now introduced a temporary strength boost, which is good. And now, in addition, all enemies P-res, M-res, fire, water, thunder, earth, wind, light, and dark attribute resistance increase effects, and all attack damage reduction effects are reduced by 3 turns. So I assume this is AoE attacks only, not single target attacks. So effectively, all they've done here is given him a temporary strength boost and also introduce a AoE damage reduction effects are reduced by 3 turns. So any buffs that they do to themselves where they reduce the damage they take from AoE attacks, that buff gets reduced by 3 turns basically. I think they probably could have gotten away with this and introduced just 5 turns, and I think this would have been an amazing ability. Honestly, it would have been insane. Finn would have been ridiculous. For his third skill, his first part of the skill stays the same. Powerful, ultra high chance, unblockable wind attribute physical attack on a single enemy. You can see that it's exactly the same, no difference there. But the change is to the damage boost. So instead of damage boost of 35% per strength boost, it's now 80% per strength boost, which means it's a increase by 90%. Yeah, 90%. Really strong, not bad at all. A little bit better for PvE contents, I would say. Nothing too crazy still, I would say. And generally speaking, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this Finn isn't amazing, in all honesty, I would say. Realistically speaking, he'll be a decentish support unit for, war games or something, for sure. If you're running a wind team with like Radari still or something like that, right, you'll probably still see him being used. And maybe in the future, if we do get more wind physical units or something like that, or just wind units in general, Finn might be a good option. But right now, I probably would say he's an easy skippable unit, in all honesty, still. But let me know in the comments. Maybe you guys who run wind teams can let me know how you guys feel about Finn. Is he a valuable option or not? 35% earth res on the passive. Why haven't they increased it to 45%? I know for a fact that nowadays modern units, right, like for example the Thunder Lafia that just came out a couple of days ago has 45% water res. Why not give the same to these guys? I mean, it's the same thing I have an issue with when it comes to their HP. Their HP is lower compared to modern units. They don't give themselves a 10% boost to their resistance, elemental resistance, that is. It's weird. It's really, really weird. At least he gets 25% physical res now, which is good for sure. But you could easily give 10% here. Come on now. 30% more damage when penetrating and Dragon Killer. Okay, that's not bad. Let's look at Ottarl. Now, Ottarl has a very significant issue, which we'll come on to in just a second. His strength hasn't gone up. His endurance has gone up. Dexterity has gone up. Agility hasn't gone up. I don't think I mind his STR not going up. 2171 seems like a good enough stat, to be quite honest. Nothing too crazy. But yeah, let's see what they do to Ottarl now. So Ottarl's original special arts is a ultra physical earth attack on a single enemy, and it increases the power of this move by 35% for each effect that increases your own power or strength and earth attack damage boost, basically. So for each strength and earth attack damage buff, he gets 35% damage boost. Okay, so that's a total of about 140%? Yeah, 140%. And increase your own counter rate by 60% for 1 turn. Now, he does a ultra attack with ultra unguard rate. Non-blockable is ultra unguard rate. I mean, if I want to check the original text, yeah, that's ultra unguard rate. Earth attribute physical attack on a single enemy. Increases the power of this move by 50% for each effect that increases your power and earth attribute attack damage. So it's gone from 35% to 50% per strength and earth damage boost, basically. So instead of 140 being the cap, it's a 200% damage boost now, which is insane. And for 3 turns, increase your own strength by 120%, good, and counter rate by 100%, also good. Very, very nice. I like this. This is a decent boost, in all honesty. Nothing crazy, but it'll help out tremendously, and especially because the upcoming Record Buster that we're getting, I think it's a Gareth Record Buster, we're gonna need Earth units, most likely, because Ottarl is gonna be the main single target unit. So you need an Earth team of like Lazar, Cyberops, Lafia, this Ottarl, stuff like that. Alright. So skill 1, for 4 turns, increase own strength and earth damage by 75%, and in addition, give yourself the following additional actions 3 times. Weak physical earth attack on a single enemy. Now, however, he does for 4 turns, he keeps the same boosts. He gives himself the same boosts, but his additional actions are now medium strength and has an ultra on guard rate as well. Not bad. I would say a good boost, I suppose. Good boost. And his second skill is a fast, powerful physical earth attack on a single enemy. So this is a fast, high ability. And in addition, for 2 turns, reduce the P-res and Earth res of a single enemy by 35% and reduce guard rate by 50%. This has not changed at all. Yeah, it's not changed at all. Well, no, it has changed. For 2 turns has gone to 4 turns, but the modifier stayed the same. The percentages have stayed the same. Why? Couldn't you have increased it by like 40% to 40%? Like the P-res and Earth res down to 40% and maybe the guard rate or the guard rate to like 75% reduction or something like that, really? Or even forget all of that. Say you didn't want to change any of this. Make this super at least or something, right? Like, come on now. I know that this is supposed to be like just a debuff thing and his 3rd skill will probably be the big damage dealing one, but like, come on. You could have done something better here. Like, really? I mean, yeah, you can see the MP decreasing from 60 to 37 as an indication as to why. Alright, 3rd skill, inflicts a super high critical, okay, so high critical rate, earth attribute, physical attack on a single enemy, temporary strength boost, and for 2 turns, reduce STR and magic of a single enemy by 45%. Now, it is still a super high critical rate, physical attack on a single enemy, earth type, of course, and the strength of this attack, or the power of this move increases by 40% per each effect that increases your power and earth attribute attack damage. So that's gone to a 160% boost, which is a thumbs up in all honesty. Because if you look at temporary strength boost, right? If I'm not mistaken, it's around 40 to 45% only in terms of a damage boost. Giving 40% per strength and earth attribute attack damage, which makes it a 160% boost. That's a 120% damage boost, which is insane. So big ups to them for doing that. This has become really powerful. Fair enough, fair enough. However, now comes the issue, because I already noticed that they've kept this the same. So the issue with this, right? The issue with this is that when Ottarl is at max HP, his counters are like wet noodles. His counters are genuinely like wet noodles. They don't do damage whatsoever. So in all honesty, you are effectively taking a weaker unit, in all honesty. Even though they've boosted his S3 up tremendously, his special arts is also much, much stronger now. I don't know if that's enough to make up for the counter damage that you lose out on in comparison to other units, in all honesty. This is something that they needed to change drastically, but I don't know. I don't think, well, clearly they haven't. So yeah, it's unfortunate. It is definitely unfortunate. I think this should have been changed. This should have been changed, because it'll be interesting to see how he is now in game. Of course, we'll see how he is on Thursday. I'm very curious to see how players use him. But in all honesty, I don't think this is good enough. In all honesty, this still being there makes him a considerably weaker unit. In all honesty, it's a shame. It's a goddamn shame. Because in theory, this seems like a good option, but then you realize you're gonna be running so many different support units, so many different healers potentially in Record Buster or in PvE contents like Familiar Rush and Familiar Royale. So there's no point in running something like this, because it's just not going to be worth it. So my opinion, pretty bad in that regards, but it is what it is. Let's look at Ryu now. Ryu is going to be very... They increased her agility, they increased her dexterity, endurance has gone up. Why haven't they increased her magic? Why haven't they increased her magic? Even if they had increased it by like 100, it would have been nice. Why haven't they increased her magic? 1 second, I need to check this. Wait. No, this is fake. It's not supposed to be this. This is wrong. This is absolutely wrong, because 25% increase in magic, endurance, agility, dexterity is now a 40% increase in magic, endurance, agility, and dexterity. So this should have increased by 15%. 15%, that should be another like 200-ish magic. She should be at 2100 basically here. This should be 2100. I don't know why they haven't boosted it. It's wrong. This is absolutely wrong. Okay, I'm gonna run with the assumption that she's 2100. Let's see what they've changed here. Okay, but this really was about to piss me off. I was about to rage massively. Even though I don't have her at +5, Ryu is like the main character. You cannot not give her the best buffs, honestly. It's ridiculous. All right, let's look at the special arts now. So her original special arts was a ultra on god rate, wind attribute magic attack that hits all enemies, greatly increases magical power only when the skill is activated, so temporary great magic boost, and increases own wind attribute attack damage by 100% for 2 turns. Okay, now it is a ultra on god rate, wind attribute magic attack that hits all enemies and greatly increases magical power only when the skill is activated, so that stayed the same. The first 2 lines is the exact same. And they've given herself a wind attribute attack damage by 120%. Whoops, my bad, sorry about that. So wind attribute attack damage by 120% instead of 100% for 3 turns instead of 2 turns. And she gives herself 4 additional actions of a high wind attribute magic attack on all enemies. I think she'll be okay in PvE, of course, because the additional actions will go off, if especially you're doing Familiar Royale and stuff, right? If you're going for those 15-turn fights, the additional effects will help tremendously. But generally speaking, I don't know about this one, Chief. I'm not gonna lie. I think, if anything, this should have been maybe allies or something. I think if it was allies, I would have been like, banger, because it would help the team out so much, right? Or even if it was own wind and magic by 120%, I think that would have helped her out tremendously. But only 120% really, game? I don't know about that. But okay, we move. Justice Moment. Slow start for 3 turns. Increase magic power, so magic and dexterity of all allies by 30%. And increase own wind attribute attack damage by 70%. In addition, give yourself the following 3 additional actions. Weak wind magic attack on all enemies. So low magic attack. Let's see what they've changed here. So they've given her agility here. So it's magic, agility, and dexterity of all allies by 35%. And increases own wind attack damage by 70% for 3 turns. And she gives herself medium power wind attribute attack damage on all enemies. I think it's good, but not amazing. It probably could have been 40%, 45% maybe. And the fact that even though it's a slow start, the fact that it is a buff will still mean it goes first in comparison to, say, Belle and Ryu, right? Belle and Ryu also have a slow start, but theirs is an actual attack, and they can strip any agility buffs. So that means this Ryu will go before the Belle and Ryu, which means they will strip the buffs that this Ryu applies. You could possibly go for a Galmusa ring, lower the agility of Ryu to a tremendous amount and hope that you go last. But even then, most people will probably just equip a Galmusa ring to Belle and Ryu or Vesta or any of these units that basically will strip away your agility buff. So a little bit funky there, I suppose. I'm not the biggest fan of it. Not the biggest fan. Let's see what they've done otherwise. A quick medium strength, high probability penetration type. So quick, medium, high penetration rate, magic attack on all enemies. For 3 turns, increase wind attribute attack damage of all allies by 35% and reduce counter rate and god rate of all enemies by 30%. Now it is a quick, high penetration rate, magic type, magic attack on all enemies. Furthermore, for 3 turns, increase wind attribute attack damage for all allies by 50% and decrease wind res, counter rate, and god rate by 35%. Sorry. Really? Again? Why? I don't know, man. I feel like this could have been better as well. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of this. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not the biggest fan of this. Let's look at the 3rd skill. Maybe it'll be good for PvE. Powerful, ultra high chance or ultra critical rate wind attribute magic attack on single enemy. Raises magic when only skill is activated, so temporary magic boost. And extends status debuffs on a single enemy by 2 turns. Okay, now it is a super ultra critical wind attribute magic attack on a single enemy. Temporary great magic boost only when the skill is activated. And extends the status debuffs of a single enemy by 2 turns. It's okay, nothing great. Again, I'm not sure. I don't know about this Ryu, man. I feel like this could have been a bit better. I don't know, maybe it could have been something else entirely to help the team out. Maybe it could have been another debuff or something, or I don't know, because even originally I don't know about this, to be quite honest. But oh well. The third skill, if this was actually a, you know, damage boost per some buff, right, I think it probably would have been way better for PvE contents and stuff like that, right? Overall, it's okay, nothing crazy, nothing bad, but nothing exceptional either. It's just there, in all honesty. It's just there. Like I said, though, her magic is probably going to be higher, so ignore this stat, in all honesty. Don't worry too much about it. Okay, let's look at Eilys, the final unit of the part 3 Astrea Record banner. Not EX, we'll get to the EX at the end. I think this is going to be the final unit. I think they're doing part 3 first, and then the EX set is going to be afterwards. I know this because I actually skimmed through this page before I left for uni. I just came back from uni like 15-20 minutes ago, so I'm going to be recording this and then immediately editing it, alright? So bear with me. Eilys, okay. Please tell me that she has the same issue as Ryu. They actually didn't increase her magic at all. Why? What is wrong with them? I mean, 1990 isn't bad, in all honesty. There are some magic units around the 2000-ish mark, the lower 2000 mark. But why not give her more? They've not even increased her agility. Like, Ryu got some bigger buffs, and I know that, oh, Ryu is the main character and stuff, but why? What have they done? What is wrong with them? Oh well, endurance has gone up by an okayish amount, 100 of course. We saw that they only added endurance to the stats boost. Why? Come on now, man. I was really hoping Eilys would be good. I had high hopes for 4 characters: Eilys, Alan, Alfia, and Erebus. So I mean, one of them is already being dashed clearly, but let's see. It's too early. It's too early. Stats don't mean much. Stats don't mean much. That's what I'm gonna tell myself, okay? So special arts: a ultra critical rate fire magic attack on all enemies. Temporary great magic boost only when skill is activated, and for 2 turns increase own magic power and fire attack damage by 80%. Now it is stayed the same. The first 2 parts have stayed the same, but instead of just 2 turns, it is now 5 turns increase own magic power and fire attribute attack damage by 90%, and she gives herself additional actions as well, which is good. A powerful, and this is 4 additional actions: a high fire attribute magic attack on all enemies, and in addition she has lifesteal. Interesting. So 30% of damage dealt is recovered as HP. Okay. Hot streak: quick start increases damage taken by all enemies by 30% for 4 turns. In addition, give yourself the 3 additional actions of low fire magic attack on all enemies. Now for 4 turns increases damage taken by all enemies, so enemies will take more damage from AoE attacks by 35%, and she reduces damage on herself from single target attacks and AoE attacks by 60%. Interesting. Okay. So they're making her like a sort of like semi-tank in a way. Very interesting. Okay. In addition, give yourself the following 3 additional actions: medium fire magic attack on all enemies. In addition, give 20% damage dealt as HP. I think they're making her a bit of a tank, which will be very interesting because you might be able to run her alongside potentially maybe like the Hero Festa Ryu on like a magic stall team potentially, right? Like slightly offensive magic stall team, because she can be a good option for that sort of a team maybe. Okay. Second skill is a high ultra critical rate magic attack on all enemies. Raises magic power when skill is activated, so temporary magic boost. And for 3 turns, increase own magic power and fire damage by 70%. It looks like it stayed the same for the most part. Yeah, it stayed the same, but she just gets magic resist down on all enemies by 40%. It's not bad. I think if they really wanted to introduce this should have been maybe a fast ability. So you go from this quick start into this fast ability. I think maybe that would have been better. For the single target ability, they've gone for a powerful ultra on guard rate, fire attack damage on a single enemy, increases the power of this move by 35% for each magic power increase effect you have. So for each magic buff, 35% damage boost. So again, 70% total. It looks like it stayed the same yet again for the first line, but the power has gone up to 80% per magic buff, which means it's a 90% boost yet again. Huge, very huge. This is what they should have given to Ryu as well, by the way. Ryu should have gotten this here. The greatly magic boost is nice, but it should have been like at least 140% minimum here. Come on now. I'm pretty sure if the normal temporary magic boost is 40 to 45%, I think this is probably like 80% maybe. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not too sure about these things or these values, to be honest, of the temporary magic boosts and whatnot. I remember way back when people used to do the math for it, but I don't remember the math right now, honestly. It's been like 4 years since I remember that. In terms of the passives, you guys can see here, very similar situation. Again, I don't know why this hasn't been jumped up to at least 35% increase in magic, endurance, agility, and dexterity, but oh well, it is what it is. Damage increased by 60% when counter occurs, and 20% more damage on critical hit. All right, let's look at the assists now. Freya is our first and foremost. By the way, I still love this Freya art. This Freya art is banging, in all honesty. Wow. Okay, they've changed her massively. Okay, so her original buff at MLB is increases counter rate of all allies by 20% and decreases critical rate, penetration rate, and guard rate of all enemies by 10%. Now, however, it is magic resist and counter rate of all allies is increased by 20% and charm resist by 100%. And furthermore, she reduces critical rate, penetration rate, and guard rate of enemies by 20%. That is decent. It is very decent. I think she'll be a good option for players going up against Magic teams, especially now that Magic is a prominent team, in all honesty. People might want to run this unit, in all honesty. She's going to be decent. She's going to be very, very decent. I'm very curious to see how good she'll actually be. For sure, for sure. I think she's been improved quite a bit. She's been made actually usable, because this wasn't usable. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry, lad. This was not usable at a point, but now this can be usable, in all honesty. Alan, let's look at Alan. Now, this was a unit I was looking forward to as well. It decreases the agility of enemies by 20% now. Instead of 15%, it's 20%, and the penetration rate and crit rate is still 20%. That's good. The main thing that I needed from them to do for this Alan was increases agility debuff to 20%, gives players another option, because when you look at the agility debuffers, the best one right now is Ryu, because she gives a minus 20% agility debuff. This Alan is joining her as well. Now, the only thing I would say is that you should go for him if you have, for example, a +4 or +3 Alan, in all honesty. Don't try and go for him if you don't have a unit whatsoever, because while he'll be a great option for a debuffing team, right? I've always said agility is going to be phenomenal. It is not going to be. It is a phenomenal stat and a very important stat when it comes to war games, right? And having a assist that can debuff agility is huge. There's a reason why everybody runs Ryu and Alf, because they increase agility or decrease agility depending on which assist you're looking at, right? And then of course we had the Alan in the New Year's Gotcha banner, of course, that gave plus 20% agility to all allies as well. Huge unit. And as a result, this Alan is going to be just as good as well. It's just that if you're going to go for him, there is a good chance you might not get him MLB. And at that point, it's just like, well, if they're giving a rerun unit 20% debuff agility, there is a good chance that we might be getting a minus 25% agility buffer very soon. So I would say be careful when you're going for this unit. If you are planning on going for an agility debuffer, he is good. It's just that there is a good enough chance that they could be releasing a minus 25% assist in the near future, agility buffer wise. So we'll see. Now let's move on to the EX characters. First and foremost, we're going to be tackling Zard. His stats haven't gotten a boost. Well, no, I lie. His endurance has gotten a boost. The rest of it has stayed the same. Okay, let's look at his kit now. Zard, when he released, was a bad unit. Both Zards are kind of meh, in all honesty, the fire one and this light one. So let's see what they've done to change him. Hopefully they've done a good enough job. So when it comes to his special arts, so ultra critical rate, light physical attack on all enemies, power of move is increased by 50% for each strength boost you have, and reduces P-Res M-Res by 50% for 3 turns. This is now 80% per strength boost. The first part stay the same, and reduces P-Res and M-Res by 60% for 3 turns. I think this is pretty decent, especially if you're going into, like, say, PvE and stuff like that. This will be very helpful, the damage boost and the P-Res and M-Res reduction skill, especially if you're running like a hybrid team or something. Can come in handy for sure. Definitely a good modern style to go with for sure. Thumbs up on that. Good job from them already improving Zard's special arts to a good enough standard, I suppose. Now his first skill is a powerful light attribute physical attack on all enemies, so high light physical attack. In addition, taunt with a 30% chance, so 30% chance to taunt all enemies, and give 2 additional actions. low light physical attack on all enemies, and recover HP by 20% of damage dealt. Okay, now it has gone from that to this. Super ultra on god rate, light attribute physical attack on all enemies. That's a huge improvement, honestly. That's insane. And he gives himself a KO survivability effect basically on his first skill. Okay, he gives it to himself. All right. In addition, give 50% chance to taunt and 3 additional actions of medium strength, light attribute physical attack on all enemies. 30% of damage dealt is recovered as HP. And in addition, in effect of increasing fire, water, earth, lightning, and wind attribute attack damage is cancelled for all enemies. Wow. Okay, they've actually made him pretty decent. I like this, in all honesty. This is good because, one, you have a 50% chance to taunt, so again he'll go fit in extremely well with it's not stall teams, ailment teams. He gives himself a survivability effect, which means that if he tries to get knocked out turn 1, especially with his low HP, somewhat lowish HP, we'll have to see in game how it actually is. I don't remember his HP in game with all the modern assists and stuff, but we'll have to see. This is good. And then on top of that, if he can launch his second ability, this is going to be pretty decent because he can recover that HP and then obviously give himself the ability to remove any elemental damage boost basically. Well, apart from light and dark, of course, it's all the main elements getting removed here. So that's going to be good up against, the likes of the magic teams that you're facing, or maybe if you're going up against, say for example, the I don't know, maybe like you're going up against the wind rush team, water team, some teams like that. You'll be dealing well with with that sort of thing with this unit. So fair enough on that front. Second skill is a high penetration rate, light attribute physical attack on all enemies. Strength, temporary strength boost only when skill is activated. For 4 turns, increase own strength and dexterity by 70% and decrease all enemies P-res and M-res by 30%. Again, he's a very good sort of like hybrid unit. He'll work well with those sort of teams, I suppose. In terms of the after adjustment, the first 2 abilities stay the same. So the modifiers stay the same, the temporary strength boost stay the same. But for 4 turns, he now increases strength, dexterity, and light attack damage by 70%. Thumbs up on that. And he reduces P-res and M-res of all enemies by 35%. Again, really solid overall. Good buff here, I think. Generally good buff. Maybe they could have given fast here. I think if they'd given him fast here, this wouldn't have been a miss, in all honesty. In fact, it would have been phenomenal if they'd given him fast. But that's the only thing I would say about him. In terms of the final skill, it looks like it's the exact same. Inflicts a very high probability critical light attribute physical attack damage on a single enemy. I assume that is a super attack. Let me just check. It probably is super. I mean, let me just double check if anybody has mentioned it in Discord. I'm gonna just double check. 1 second. Let me see. It looks like, okay, no, it's according to others, it's still high. Let's go with high then. The power of this technique increases by 80% instead of 40%. So that is a effective 80% boost overall. So not bad. Okay, so when a counter occurs, normal light physical attack. So from normal, it's gone to normal light, which is good. Again, it fits in with the unit, of course, with the light attack damage boost and everything. Recovers HP by 50% of the damage dealt. Okay, I have a question. I don't know if this is how it works, but somebody can let me know. If you're running Argonaut, Tiona, or Cassandra on him, say for example, right? And they counter, right? The assist counter effect goes off. Does he get 50% damage back? Let me know in the comments. I'm very curious. Maybe some of the veterans know if they've tried it out. Because I haven't tried this out. I don't know if this works the way I think it does. Let me know in the comments. 8% MP and HP recovery instead of 5%, 30% more damage on critical hits from 15%. Overall decent. Let's look at Alfia now. Alfia is somebody I hope has improved drastically. No increase in magic. Oh, well, it is what it is. No increase in agility, but her agility was always decent, so that's fine. Boost to her dexterity. Good. Thumbs up on that. Let's look at it. Let's look at the before adjustment. So ultra high penetration, light attribute magic attack that hits all enemies. Increases the power of this move by 50% for each magic effect, or each magic buff, I should say, and gives 1 magic null to all allies. Now it is a ultra penetration rate light magic attack on all enemies, and instead of 50% per magic buff, it is 80% damage boost per magic buff. So again, a good strong 60% boost to the special arts ability, which is good. And in addition, she gives allies 2 magic nulls, which is nice for sure. her first skill is, or was, I should say, before the buff, increases own magic and agility by 70% for 4 turns, and in addition, give yourself the following additional action 3 times. 75% chance to grant 1 magic null to all allies, and that has now become magic and agility by 70% for 4 turns, so no changes there. But in the additional attacks, it is a guaranteed null to all allies for magic attacks, and removes magic and agility reduction effects on all allies. Interesting. This is a much better iteration of doing things compared to like Gareth, in all honesty. Part 1 Gareth. If you know, you know. But this is much better. It's not an insane change, in all honesty. I think I could have appreciated an 80% boost and stuff. But even then, in all honesty, again, it runs into the same issue I mentioned earlier on with these agility boosts. Even though they're, you know, giving such high agility boosts and stuff, right? And they are buffs. The fact that they are buffs is the actual issue, because you know, units like Bell and Ryu, who go last because they have a slow sort of start, right? They have a slow ability where they can do a physical attack. It's a slow ability, which means they'll go last, and they can strip away agility buffs, which kind of removes this whole factor, in all honesty. So that is a bit of an issue, but oh well, it is what it is. The nulls will be handy though. Alright, let's go at the second skill. A fast, medium strength, light magic attack on all enemies. Raises magic power only when the skill is activated. For 3 turns, increase light attribute attack damage on all allies by 35% and decrease light res by 40%. That has gone from this to effectively no changes on the first 2 lines. And for 3 turns, increase light damage by 50% instead of 35% and decrease agility. Okay. And light resist by enemies by 40%. Okay. I kind of dig that, especially because this is going to be an ability that you'll use in turn 2, if I'm not mistaken, right? This is not bad. It isn't bad. I don't think this is bad at all. I'm very curious to see what people think about it, but this is not bad at all, I feel. The agility kind of saved it. I was kind of mulling and umming over, like, is it actually good? But I think this is good. In terms of the last ability, we have a powerful high penetration rate light attribute magic attack on a single enemy. Increases the power of this technique by 40% for each magic buff, basically. And this has gone from that to ultra penetration rate, and now instead of 40%, you have 80% here for each magic buff. So very interesting. Again, it's a buff by 80%, similar to Zard's, exactly the same as Zard's, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So there you have it. Alfia got an okayish buff, nothing too crazy for sure. In terms of these passives, they look about the same. I mean, yeah, we know that the dexterity is the only thing that got a buff. It's a very similar feature to what Zard got, basically. So yeah, let's move on to Erebus. Now, this guy is something I'm interested in. So his original ability was reduces all enemies light res by 20% and increases own strength and magic by 20%. Now he reduces light res, critical rate, and penetration rate of all enemies by 20% and increases his own power. So the character he's on, they will get a buff of strength, magic, and dexterity by 25%. So not bad, I would say. This Erebus, I know a lot of people will probably still maintain Argonaut is better, which he will be better in game modes like war games and stuff like that. This Erebus could be better though for Record Buster and PvE contents. I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say down below about Erebus, because I do believe that to be the case. Maybe this is my own copium talking, because I have him at +3 and I can probably get him to MLB so that he'll be actually usable for me in Record Buster, considering my Argonaut is +2 only. But maybe it is a little bit of copium. Let me know in the comments what do you guys think. But overall, it's okay. I don't think there's anybody that's phenomenal. Like even in the previous buffs, I felt like there was one unit that I was like, oh, that's actually not bad, you know? Like, for example, Asfi, and, you know, obviously in part 1, I really liked Eilys and Riveria. In this one, I mean, Alan is good. Alan is good, of course. They modified him to be as good as Ryu, which is great. And even Freya is pretty solid overall. Generally, the adventurers, though, kind of got meh, in all honesty. They didn't get much, in all honesty. They got very minor buffs. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say. This was a very long video. I'm gonna wrap it up here. Let me know what you guys think. We will be doing a Shiryu summon and stuff on Thursday. I will be probably summoning for Erebus, like I said, probably hoping to just get 1 copy, because then I can buy the copy from the you know, the tail, because that's what you can do. You can buy a bond of a character, a dupe of a character, whoever you want. You won't get a new unit, you will get a copy of the unit. So make sure you have the unit and you know, you have the unit unit close to MLB if you're going for a copy of a unit. So yeah, we'll talk about that though on Thursday. Let me know what you guys thought about these units and these buffs. And if you guys enjoyed the video, remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys next time. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.